Hello everyone, and welcome to the Vmware VCP7 course. This course is being taught by my boss and very talented IT instructor Syed Amir Shahzad. You will get to learn it with clear concepts-based lectures, colourful diagrams, fun and jokes, and best of all, step by step, hands-on, labs. Let's tune in to Amir's Vmware course.
VMware course, and this is my intro. And what I was talking about is that for an IT course, it's really a practical course, right? Just like car driving or just like a swimming. So you have to swim to know how to swim, right? And you have to go in the car and start driving to know how to drive, right? So it's implementation of technology across different environments, cloud environments, on-premises environments. So you have to know how to do it by implementing it. So the main word here is hands-on. How much hands-on you are for Azure, for AWS, for Microsoft 365 and Linux, right? The more hands-on you are, the more at ease you are, the more chances you get a very good job real soon, right? So that's what of an IT course is, that the more hands-on we are, we should be so working in depth that when we are facing an interview, we should get a job sooner, higher paying job sooner. That's the main objective here, right? We all have to pay our bills, right? And it's the cost of living is not going down, no way. So we have to really improve our skills to get a higher paying job sooner, right? So for that, you've joined that program. Yes, there are 6 or 7 courses you're doing here. I also have a recommendation for a set of courses from system administration, Microsoft guys side in that context. So I will be giving that career talk as well, initial career talk, and then we're gonna switch to VMware introduction. Well, I'll go with the slide. So are you the easygoing type? It's your choice either to be lazy and simply attend the class, not to the instructor pretending you understood everything he said, go home and staying too busy. I'm sure you're not like that, definitely. Or you are you the active and hardworking type? Try to understand what instructor is saying. Let me know if I'm going fast, like, well, we're done. No, I'm not going that fast. But the thing is, there's so much to cover and so much to understand that um, I will start slow and I will try to take everyone with me. But after some time, we have to start, flying. So the thing is that how fast can you be by the mid and end of the course depends on your hard work, how, repetition of the labs again and again, right? Ask me to repeat what you don't understand, not shy of asking simple and easy questions. Go ahead and ask questions about, and then try to do research as well. There's YouTube, there's lots of media here, Chat GPT, right? And new technologies are emerging, but the more research you do other than what we are talking here, the better you understand, the more in depth you go, the better questions you have for me as well, right? So the thing is that do your own research as well, but obviously it's new technology. So first you have to understand in the class and go ahead and see that, okay, what is VMware? Oh, what is VCP? What does YouTube say? Okay, yeah, okay. Let me just get to the instructor and let's see what he says. Or what I said, then try to check the YouTube lectures for that too, and that goes for all the other instructors as well and other classes as well. Work on your home lab and SMS me, email me. Really? Did I just put that SMS me? Okay. Email me with screenshots, and I may be able to help as soon as I get time. Class WhatsApp group. So guys, this, let me make it bold. Class WhatsApp group. This is where we share our screenshots for our errors. And errors are the best instructors, right? Errors will teach you that what you're doing wrong and how to fix it. Obviously, you're going to try to troubleshoot that. So as soon as you get an error in the lab, take a screenshot, put it in the WhatsApp group, and everyone else, you need to really start helping whoever puts the error there. Why? Because market needs troubleshooters. Market needs troubleshooters. The better you are in the troubleshooting, They will ask in the interview, okay, what are the problems that you have faced? Name any two most complex problems that you have faced. Now, what kind of questions are? But it came to me so many times in the interview as well. And when I was taking interviews, I put those questions as well. That okay, if we have to troubleshoot, what is the most complex thing you had to troubleshoot, right? So you have to first tell the scenario, then you start telling the troubleshooting steps. For example, internet is slow. So if I ask you, Nick, give me six solutions right away, six, not solutions, six steps of troubleshooting. This will tell you as soon as you start saying, oh, first I will check this, then this. The third one we will know, or interviewers will know, oh, is this our guy? Or yes, this is it. That's the way we troubleshoot. So the best thing to become a master there for troubleshooting, if any of the students have issues and they share an error, jump on it, get grab that opportunity, open chat gpt, open YouTube, open Google, and start putting that error there and get the solution as fast as possible. Help the students get that error gone, so you will sharpen your skills of troubleshooting, right? Because market really needs troubleshooters. And it's not like, oh, I've installed that VCP, VMware, and I've installed ESXi hypervisor, I've installed virtual machines. Hey, when you join the company, it's going to be all there working already. They're not going to be, in most of the cases, they're not going to ask you, hey, there's a new branch we're creating, start installing, because you know how to install. Installing is nothing. I mean, you're going to do that, excuse me, initially, but after that, maintaining, managing, troubleshooting, that's where they're gonna really test you, right? So you have to really, after installation, you have to manage it, maintain it. You will only manage and maintain it if you know in depth, all the concepts are good, and you have done the labs again and again. When you're doing the labs, you're gonna get so many errors. That's where you learn, right? And repeat it again and again. You know, some students, I call them crazy, and some of them are in very good jobs now. And you have to be crazy to get good jobs, right? So very few reinstalled the whole VMware environment, I think 3 or 4 times, and it's not easy. It requires a lot of patience, and it is time consuming. But they recreated the whole environment until by the end of the course, they were like, "Whoa!" I was asking question, "How do you do that? How do you do that? How do you connect this to this?" And they were like, "This." So then I realized that okay, yeah, some of these are going to get very good job very soon, very high paying job, right? And few of them did. But the thing is, are you crazy enough to give 200% to all those courses you're doing here and this one as well? So this is your opportunity to really work hard. And after that, once you get a job, enjoy the rest of your life, right? Because once you get a job, you get experience, you get Canadian experience, then you get, you know, ahead and go for a better and better and better job, right? So the thing is, you need to be crazy enough to give your 200%, and no matter how busy you are, you need to repeat all the labs again and again and again, right? Okay, class WhatsApp group, this is very important. And students actually send error, if they get any error in the lab, sir, I'm stuck here, can you resolve that? So they send it directly to me, right? So first of all, if you send it to me, yeah, obviously I'm here to help, but I have to take out time and help. And when I am helping, others are not seeing what I'm giving a solution, right? So that's why I'm saying that put it in the class WhatsApp group. If I'm giving a solution, others should also learn from that solution, right? But the thing is, you need to be an excellent troubleshooter. So try to learn the error, try to go on Google group, Google Groups and YouTube and ChatGPT, and try to know the resolution and resolve it as soon as possible, right? So works on hands-on labs minimum 2 hours weekly. What? Okay, so yeah, it should be more than that. Okay, so if you go ahead, if IT is your field, then you need a good hardware first. Guys, yes, we are all, companies are all moving to cloud, but when you start doing any lab, it comes down to, oh, my computer is slow. Even for AWS, when I was teaching AWS and Azure, I regularly teach. So we do have to create some on-premises environment to connect to do Entra ID sync or Active Directory, Azure Active Directory sync, right? So all those. So we need always. Sometimes we were stuck with the lab, so it's better to at least plan. I'm not saying that you get it now, but at least plan to have a good hardware, that should not stop you from creating environments, right? So especially for VMware, yeah, it's very much recommended. Minimum i7 quad core processor, 32 GB RAM is good, 24 GB is good, 16 GB is minimum. Don't go less than 16, right? And 64 GB RAM would be wow, amazing. Minimum 500 GB SSD drive, right? Super slow drive, SSD, no, solid state drive. And this would really increase the speed of all your lab. You can have a desktop computer or laptop or server. Search for used ones on Kijiji or used computer suppliers. I can also let you know about a guy from whom many of my students have bought refurbished, used but powerful computers in a much lesser price, right? But the thing is, plan to have a good hardware if you want to stick to in the field of IT, because anytime you have to create an environment, you're about to go for an interview and they say, oh, you must know this, you can quickly create an environment in a powerful PC, and that's it. Take some of the notes there, learn some of the initial installations and stuff, and take some summary from YouTube, and there you go, you're ready for a new technology with a limited amount of time. Obviously, we can't know everything. So in a job opening, they always need a Superman or Superwoman. So they ask so many things, but there are always 3 or 4 major things or 5 things, right? You have to be very good in those few major things that they really need, right? So a deadly combination would be Azure, AZ104, Azure Administrator, VMware, and AWS, Microsoft 365, Exchange. And I'm going to give those that list of set of courses that you should know, and make it a plan so you could get a high-paying job within 8 months to 1.5 years, right? So always plan this, that how long should I take to get a 35 per hour job, 45 per hour, 50 per hour job, right? So it's not a myth. Students have been breaking records all the time. So I've seen impossible happening anyway. So there were students who were starting in the course, and I was like, why did he come? I mean, I'm sure he's not gonna be, successful. And just the sheer hard work of that person, changed his career for him. And now, I mean, one of the students I was talking about, that I thought that no way he's going to survive on IT, and now he's a system administrator somewhere, and he actually had a very good pay. So, and he was zero at the start of the courses, but the main thing is he started giving. He was crazy. He gave like 8 hours, sometimes 8 hours per day, 6 hours per day. He was doing impossible things, right? So it's not just one. I have so many examples of students breaking all records. You have to be crazy and you get a very good job after that, right? You just need to work really hard. So key to success is dedication. I'm sure you're all dedicated. There are so many certifications. Then what set of certs should I go for in order to apply for a systems administrator job ranging from 25 per hour up to 60 per hour? So 60 per hour is not a myth now. Few of my students have that. Okay, they were really experienced back as well, but they did some cloud courses and VMware courses with me, and after that they got 60, 70 per hour job, and it's pretty good money, right? But there are some recommendations I also give, and I'm coming from system administration, cloud, and Microsoft VMware background. So there are some must-have certifications. Must-have. Okay, when I say certification, yes, it is important, but more important than this is also skills. Do you have the skills for that, what that course is offering? Can you actually implement that? Do you understand all the concepts behind that? And yes, certification is also good. Microsoft Cloud exams, there are 3 exams. Microsoft Cloud exams, there is AZ900. So AZ900 or fundamentals or practitioner, you should be giving right away as soon as possible. AZ900, if you're done AWS practitioner, that's also good, but you should show the industry that, hey, I know cloud. Okay, at least the basics of cloud, right? But the best one would be, must have is AZ104, Azure Administrator course. That is not that tough, but the thing is that this is something that you must do as soon as possible, right? And some of the must-have courses, AZ104, Azure Architect, yes, it's good. Azure Security, AZ500, must-have course. So at least these two from Microsoft Azure, AZ-104, AZ-500 are must-have courses. uh, Try to get some sample questions, also called dumps. Some of you know what that terminology means, but you have to give the exam. More than this is, you know, you must have all the skills that this exam requires, right? I can also share resources, and also I can share all the recordings of the courses that I've done with all the, you know, hands-on. But you're also doing this course here as well, right? So one exam of Microsoft Office 365. So Exchange Online is how to handle emails of a company, right? Right now in my downtown job there, I'm handling exactly this environment, right? But it's not like, oh, since I'm handling, so I'm saying that this is very important. If you go to indeed.com and just type Azure, you're going to see so many jobs. If you go to indeed.com, LinkedIn jobs, glassdoor.com, right? So there are so many jobs for VMware, Azure, AWS, and Microsoft 365. So Exchange Online is a must-have course. At least those skills should be there, that you should know compliance and security of company emails, right? Then there's Teams Online, which is also good to know. Another one is Intune Endpoint Manager, which is that you can handle thousands of devices from cloud, right? So that is also very good. At least one MDM, mobile device management, right? At least one of the MDM solutions you should know. And then there is, so from Microsoft 365 services, you know, Azure Active Directory or Entra ID. This I should add because uh, identity based hacking and attacks are going on. It's all time high. So Entra, Microsoft Entra ID, MS Entra ID, you should also be an expert of, right? So it would be MS Entra, which is the old name for Azure Active Directory. Azure Active Directory. So this you should be an expert of and know all the security loopholes, all the security features, especially what Microsoft offers is Microsoft Defender. So what are the tools that Microsoft Defender offers? What are the compliance and security tools that it offers? All that you must know. Security is a big thing now. Obviously, after knowing infrastructure and services, you must be at least do one course of security as well, right? So these skills are, if not the certification, these skills are must have. You must know how identity and access management really works. And you must know how, well, Microsoft Defender tools or any other AWS security tools, you must be an expert of, right? Any one side of security related certification you should have. One example, VMware VCP 7, now it's VCP 8 actually. But VCP 7, we're going to do the labs of 7 because our environment, the Humber environment is 7, right? But it's a must have. VMware skills are must have. And I'm going to be, you know, many people do ask that, hey, VMware is an on premises technology, right? While everyone is going to cloud. So why VMware is still so much in demand, right? So now after this, I'm going to be telling you or showing you that how VMware started and where is it now and where is it going, what's the future of it, right? So it's a must-have skill, and if certification, wow, that would be good. Citrix is kind of okay. I mean, like Fortune 500 companies, the big 500 companies have that. After must-have red ones, you should have others you can pursue as well. ITIL is a certification for management of IT department, manage change management. Suppose you're making a change, you're installing a server, you're upgrading a server, you're upgrading virtual machines, you're deploying. So that's all change. How do you manage that change? So there are many software for that as well, like ServiceNow and many other change management software. So you should know change management. Better do certification ITIL now as soon as possible, because that really makes your resume look good, because it talks about how properly an IT change management really works, right? CCNA must have. You must know how routing and switching works. In Azure cloud, you will face networking. In AWS cloud, you'll face networking. Google cloud, you will face networking. So it's very, very important. If even if you have CCNA expired certification, it's okay, mention it in the resume. that you know routing and switching concepts, right? So CCNA, if you haven't done CCNA, do it ASAP, as soon as possible, right? RSCSA, this is Red Hat certification for Linux. Linux is more in the cloud for its security and performance. But Microsoft operating systems, if you know, that is good. Better go for Linux operating systems as well. Now even we are going operating system agnostic, which means that you don't even know for containerization. If you've heard that concept, containers, they don't need operating system, but you should know about operating system. You should be an expert of either Linux or Windows. If both you're good with, that's very good. Security certifications. So these are vendor specific, right? Security certifications at AWS related, AWS security and Microsoft security. But there is vendor neutral certifications, CISSP, CEH, Certified Ethical Hacker. So some of those certifications, security certifications, if you go for, if you go for just a vendor specific certification, that is also okay. At least you know the concept of security in depth for one vendor, right? So security certification and security skills and security tools it must be there in your resume, right? So that's these are some of the must-haves, and then there is Amazon Web Services. So a very good combination would be if you go for AWS Solutions Architect Associate, right? SAC03. This is actually also very good to have. Actually, it's must have, one of the must have certificates. All the red ones are must have certifications, right? So a very good combination would be what? If you have done AZ104, if you at least know very good how company emails and company devices can be managed, identity, how Entra ID, how the authentication really works, VMware must have, and solutions architects. So if you have done this, it's not compulsory that you do this as well, AWS Solutions Architect, but if you do both, that's called a deadly combination. So Azure Administrator AZ104, VMware, and AWS Solution Architect. That would be the top three, I would suggest, right? That go for it right away, because everything is in cloud. Some companies have two cloud solutions, some companies have three cloud solutions. So two cloud solution means they have resources on Azure as well as AWS, or they have resources with Azure and Google, right? Or AWS and Google. But if you know in depth one cloud, recently my IT director, new IT director came, and he is an expert in AWS, right? AWS cloud. Our company is totally Microsoft shop. Everything we have Microsoft. But since he has cloud experience in one cloud technology, right, in one cloud platform, so he was hired because of that. And cybersecurity, he has a lot of courses. He has done CISSP as well. So security profile should be heavy, should be more there. Plus any one of the in-depth cloud certifications and skills, especially skills. I mean, they all know now outside that, okay, certification. We're gonna just come for the interview and then we'll see how much that person is. And it has to be practical. So questions are always practical. If you have done that, if you have troubleshooted something, then only you can answer. They ask questions in such a way that they will know right away that, oh, he or she has seen YouTube and came here, or has an actual experience and came here, right? So their questions will be, if you have done the labs, only then you can answer those questions. The questions are in such a way. Okay, so these are some of the recommendations. There's a plan here. If you just put that on your wall, that and you can add or subtract any of the certifications here. But if you put that plan on the wall and eyes on the price, that in 8 months to 9 months, up to 1.5 year max, I'm going to be earning 35 per hour, 45 per hour job, and I'm going to be doing all those courses, all those certifications, and you can also group together and start doing that. But put at least a plan in front of you on the wall, that okay, 2 hours daily, 3 hours daily, 4 hours daily, I have to work hard. You have to work crazily to get a good job, right? So go out of the box, think out of the box, and try to give as much time as possible. Another good thing is what courses you're doing. Is it really beneficial? Are they really beneficial or not? Right? So um, for that, how would you know it's what you're doing is there are jobs there for that? Obviously, for that you have to grab the snacks. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. So you have to go to indeed.com or LinkedIn jobs, right? And then check. So whichever courses you're doing now, go to indeed.com or LinkedIn jobs or glassdoor.com or whichever other recruiter sites and just type there. So I'm going to type here VMware and start looking for jobs in Toronto. So there are long list of jobs that do come mentioning VMware exports, live trader, North York, and skills. Okay, I think I hope that's an IT job. Yeah, because that's live trader. Hey, what is live trader doing with VMware? Seriously. Okay, senior management cloud infrastructure. So they didn't even mention in the job that there's VMware expert required, but the top skill, one of the top skills, Azure comes later. VMware is there, and I'm going to give you the reason why VMware is so much in demand. Okay, so sorry, I was not looking at the comments. Now I'm looking at the comments as well. What about ISC2 certified? Yes, exactly. That's very good. Cybersecurity certification from any vendor is good as long as you see demands here on the recruiter sites where there are so many job opportunities that you can. IT technician, they say IT technician, well, okay, that's there still is CompTIA plus. You can see VMware, Windows Server, computer networking, senior technical specialist with 80K 90K per year when you go. So again, VMware is there, and network support. You can see cloud would be also there. So Azure, Microsoft 365 services, and you will always find VMware there as well, right? So you have to go to the qualifications and then try to check there if what you have. Do you know about all the technologies that they're asking, right? And if you keep going down there, then yeah, that's VMware is mentioned in all those, and it is coming on search on the top because I searched VMware. That's why. Okay, lead technical specialist, 85 95K. Again, VMware SQL Windows Server, and if you keep going, senior Linux administrator. So Linux obviously is also going to be hosted on virtualization, virtual machine system engineer, enterprise infrastructure, Vaughn. So obviously these are all VMware jobs, right? Virtualization, VPN, ITIL. So you can see how many jobs are there: senior ID, senior administrator, network validation, technical support, and it goes on and on and on. Whoa, 65 per hour. Okay, senior automation engineer. But that's automation as well. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages. You can see how many jobs are there. But whatever other courses you're doing, go to Indeed.com, LinkedIn, any of the job sites, and put Toronto and put that certification there. Put that course there. AWS, just type AWS, and you will see how many jobs are. Guys, one more thing about this. Don't just see, oh, Weaver is there, I'm good. No, go inside and check what else they want. Am I doing the one of the main things they are doing? You should be doing at least 2 to 3 or 4 main things that they're asking, right? So VMware is there, and they're asking for cloud, Azure cloud platform. They're asking for cloud native technologies. Some of the things you might not know: Cisco ACI. This is pretty advanced kind of job there. But IT technician, just try to know what else they want. Okay, I'm doing VMware, but what else are they looking for as well? Because you need to put it in the resume that I know this as well. Some of the things you will never know. I mean, there will be things that you don't know, right? This is always a possibility. So go to YouTube, and if you have a good computer, then create a virtual environment of that. Go to YouTube, learn some skills about that, and make notes. And you should be able to say something about what they require in the job announcements, right? So people, some of the students I've seen that they didn't know, so 3 or 4 main things they needed. Two things he didn't know, went to YouTube, did a lot of research in 1 week or 3 days, went to the interview with such a confidence. He started saying, "Yeah, I know, no problem. Oh, it is this. So he got lucky as well that not a lot of in-depth questions were asked for the other two skills that he didn't know, but he covered it by with confidence and some research work in 1 week. So the thing is, no, but that doesn't mean that you will always get a job. It's just about you should be in depth in main technologies, but try to know what else they need, right? Okay. So that's what I'm trying to say here. That go to these recruiter sites and try to know what is what else I am supposed to have under my skills, right? Okay, so and that's a plan, career talk about that. If we go ahead further, so exam strategy is, well, try to prepare well for it. Okay, so there used to be 2 exams, and this is an old screenshot. There used to be a voucher given. I have to check now that if they still give that voucher. Nordin says in the chat, is it possible for Humber College to offer any vouchers or discounts for all the certifications at this time? VMware used to give that, but they changed their policy recently, and the new policy applies to the last batch and your batch. So you guys are the lucky ones. I mean, like they have kind of stopped giving. They used to give. VMware, I can say that I'm going to confirm again that they changed their policy. So what is the new policy? Others, you can ask those instructors. And suppose it's Azure, so you can also go to Azure Academy, Google it, and just check if Azure Academy is providing vouchers, and if Humber is Azure Academy or not for AWS or whatever courses they are doing, right? Go to their site, go to the vendor site, and check if they're providing vouchers. Oh yes, if they are, is Humber eligible for that? If it is, go for it, right? Okay, if we go further, so VCP 7-DSP certification details, there is that certification site as well. I'm just gonna share that. Oh, okay, let me just drag it here. Yeah, Broadcom took over. Broadcom purchased VMware. Whoa, stop. Okay, perks of working from home. I'm telling my kids, shoo, go. Okay, yeah. Okay, so let's get going. Accept me, please. Cloud infrastructure, app platform, networking. So that this is the cloud infrastructure we're talking about. Let me share that. It's actually vmware.com. I'm just gonna put it in the chat now. And in WhatsApp as well. If we go to cloud infrastructure, there's security, there's software-defined edge, networking, and app platform, right? So when we go to cloud, there's compute, storage, networking, cloud management. Now, I went to cloud infrastructure, but the thing is, it's virtualization pretty much that you need to know how VMware handles virtualization, right? If I go back to this, deliver elastic, scalable cloud infrastructure that can be deployed on premises, public cloud, and edge networks. So there is on-premises side of it that is all going to be there for some foreseeable time, and that's what we are going to be learning as well. But if you know how virtualization of VMware really works, then VMware has done contracts with AWS, VMware on AWS. If you go there, AWS for VMware. So AWS has a contract. This means that VMware resources could be migrated to AWS as VMware resource, not converted into AWS resource. Or if you go for Azure and VMware, So Azure VMware solution. So redeploy, extend, and run native VMware environments at scale in the cloud with Microsoft Azure VMware solution. So your VMware virtual machines will stay as VMware virtual machines on top of Azure cloud or AWS cloud or Google cloud, whichever cloud is there. VMware keeps its own, presence on cloud as well as on premises, right? So this means that you have to learn VMware because many companies do not want, who have invested heavily on VMware environment. They have like 100,000, 200,000 users across the globe, and they have VMware virtualized data centers across the globe, and they have Azure cloud and AWS cloud as well, right? But they don't want to convert VMware virtual machines into Azure VMs or AWS instances. So they want to keep VMware as VMware. So that's why there are VMware solutions. That's why we need to learn VMware, and that's why it's so much in demand. If we go ahead, so this is a page. Other pages are here. AWS VMware. If I just share that, because you should know and you should mention that in the interview as well, that okay, we're all going to cloud. So where is VMware going to go? Cloud has offered VMware solutions already, which means that you don't have to convert those virtual machines to, um, you know, uh, AWS or cloud virtual machine. So where is Azure VMware solution? So I'm just gonna share those URLs as well. You should at least have a good read on that, and keep it in your arsenal of knowledge, and keep an eye on that. And when you're in the interview, they do check that how much you keep an eye on latest technology, right? And what kind of solutions are in your mind, because you're going to be system administrators, you're going to be cloud administrators, solutions architect. So you need to know all types of solutions in the market regarding the technology that you claim that you know, right? Okay, so if we go back here, uh, yeah. So now about VMware, that many of you have experience in VMware already, and many of you are going to learn. So if I go to the whiteboard here and paste that diagram, really paste. Okay, good. Okay. So this diagram here is talking about how VMware really started, and where is VMware going. So first of all, how it used to be, right? There's a Toronto branch here, right? Toronto branch, and that Toronto branch, suppose, has 100,000 users here, 200,000 users here. So you would have those physical machines here. These physical machines used to be there in the data centers. Data centers were in like 8 floor, 2 floors in a big building, or one big floor is whole data center. And also, what is data center? So obviously, when we see something, we get the idea right away. So if we go for data center AWS, so these are all the data centers. So from outside, it would look like this: AWS, Amazon Web Services data center. It's a huge area, very well secured area here, right? And inside the data centers, there are rows and rows of racks, and in those racks, there are rows and rows of physical machines, right? Rack servers or blade servers, right? And people are working on those. Oh, it's the same guy. Okay. So the thing is that, oh, still the same guy. So he did a lot of photo shoots here. Yeah, looks cool as well. But the thing is that you would go see lots, rows and rows of this. So this is a data center. That's how it looks like. And Amazon, AWS, and Azure would have a huge amount of data centers here across the regions, right? Across availability zones and regions. So that's what data centers would look like. If I go back here, in those data centers, there are rows and rows of physical servers, right? those physical servers are going to, they were taking a lot of space, right? So suppose you have 100,000 users here. So you would have like maybe 2,000 physical servers here, right? 2,000 physical servers would take a lot of space, right? And you would put just one operating system on top of it, like Windows Server 2012 or Linux, right? And on top of that, one application here. So one physical server with one operating system and one application. So you need 2,000 physical servers. Good luck. So you need a lot of space here. You know, suppose it's a building. So one full floor is rack after racks and servers after servers, right? Then virtualization arrived. And what did virtualization do? Virtualization says that, hey, don't install an operating system here, right? Why don't you install a software called hypervisor? Okay. Anyone in one liner quickly? What is hypervisor? Anyone knows already? One liner, two liner, I don't know. What does hypervisor do? Basic one function, two functions. Mhm. Ever heard of hypervisor before? Okay. So I asked this question because I wanted to have a tea. Oh no, I'm just kidding. I really asked that question because I wanted to know if you know. Yeah, hand raised. Yeah, go ahead. Whoever raised hand, please go ahead. Okay, Daniel.
Yeah, a hypervisor helps to manage virtual machines, like a virtual
Yes.
machine.
Everyone agrees with that?
In a physical
On a physical server.
machine, yeah, a physical machine.
So on top of physical machine, there are, you know, those virtual servers, virtual machines, right? Okay, guys, let's go ahead. Hypervisor is that software whose main responsibility. Hey, it was written here. Seriously? Okay, no, I knew that you knew. Come on, yeah, I knew that. Okay, so yeah, hypervisor equals host virtual machines, right? Uh, what does that mean? So one physical server, one operating system, Windows Server 2008, 2010, 2016, right? And then an application. What application? Like SQL Server or another application, what web server or print server or file server.
WSUS.
Exactly, WSUS, update server, Windows Software Update Services. Exactly, Linux server. And so there's so much applications that, oh, Linux is operating system. Why did I say Linux? Linux application, yeah, that's what I meant. Okay, Linux operating system. So either Windows OS or Linux, yeah, OS, right? Like this. And you will have, I'm teaching. Dude, I'm teaching. Okay, so my kid was, you know, teasing me. So I thought, hey, I'm teaching. Seriously. Okay, so yeah, the thing is that there's so many applications here that you would put on an operating system on a physical server, but one physical server, one operating system, one application was a total waste of resources. So they came up with a virtualization solution. You know, there should be a background music. Da-da. Yeah, they came with virtualization solution, and that is hypervisor. So hypervisor, you install this software. It takes very less space to install a hypervisor. It's a small software, and what it does is it hosts virtual machines. It lets you use full capacity of your hardware. It fools the virtual machine. It fools the operating system, Linux or Windows, into thinking that it is still using its own full physical server, while it is just sharing the CPU, RAM, storage, and network, CPU, RAM, storage, and network of this physical server. So there's an operating system here, there's an operating system here, and this is a virtual machine, this is a virtual machine, OS and application, OS and application. So what happens is when you create a virtual machine, you install operating system inside, you create, install an application like SQL Server or web server here, then another virtual machine with an operating system, Windows, and an application like file server here, another virtual machine, operating system, and database, and any application, right? But all these virtual machines work the same way as that one big physical server with just one operating system and with just one application on top. So now on this one physical server, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or maybe 10 virtual machines. Each virtual machine works exactly like, or even better in some cases, like a one physical server. So this means that if you have one virtual machine with an operating system and application installed, you don't need this physical server. You throw it out. You have installed another virtual machine that is doing a print server. You don't need another physical server. Throw it out. You know, when I was in Scotiabank, they were virtualization was in full swing, and they were throwing out physical servers. So they were gonna actually throw it out, and we asked them that, hey, can we take it home? I mean, you're throwing it out anyway. So they said, okay, sure. And I got like one big physical server. So other guys got 3 physical servers. When I brought it home, very happy, and I started, it's like zzz, it was so noisy that I had to gift it to some institute. So, but I was happy initially, at least. And at that time, I was not business minded. Otherwise, I would have taken all the servers and sold it on eBay. So anyway, the thing is that the more virtual machines were coming on one physical server, the more physical servers were being thrown out of. So this means that if you were paying the rent $1 million, a big company paying $1 million for the 5th floor, suppose this is the 5th floor of a building, and this was all covered with racks, and physical servers, just like the picture I just showed you, right? Racks, and physical servers, right? So many racks and so many physical servers here. So when you start throwing out physical servers, then you don't need to pay $1 million or okay $200,000 per month for the whole floor. The company data centers started shrinking. Hey, we don't need physical servers anymore, because one physical server, thanks to hypervisor virtualization, thanks to this software called hypervisor. Now I'm creating a virtual server, which is just a software. It has uh, it has just like a physical RAM, physical processor, physical hard disk or storage, physical network. Now this machine has virtual RAM, which is just a software, right? Virtual RAM, it's just a code, right? Virtual processor, vCPU, virtual CPU, and it has virtual storage, virtual disk, right? And it has virtual network card. Everything is virtual. Everything is written by code. Everything is just a software, right? But it works exactly like you had a physical server, an operating system installed on that, and an application installed on that, right? So a virtual machine works exactly like a physical server with one OS and one app. So why do you need one physical server? Or if you had 2,000 physical servers, now you have 2,000 virtual machines, right? So you don't need 2,000 physical servers. In fact, instead, you would need what? 200 physical servers, right? But those physical servers would have, suppose this one was having 32 GB RAM at that time, RAM, right? Or 64 GB RAM or 128 GB RAM, right? And Xeon 1.5 megahertz processor, right? So these physical servers, they will be few, but they will have like 1 TB RAM. That's huge RAM, right? That's a lot of RAM. So you would make fewer physical servers with very, very good hardware, right? And those like 3.5 gigahertz, 3.5 gigahertz GHz processors, and storage comes from, we all know. So local storage could also be 10 terabyte or SSD, 10 terabyte SSD drives, right? But the main storage will come from Uncle Sam. No, it's not Sam. So that is storage area network, which means that all the disks, so storage area network is storage over the network. So this means that there will be 2000 disks in a tower here, right? Disks after disks after disks. And over the network, you are providing those disks. Suppose this virtual machine is asking for 200 disks, right? 200 disks, and they should all be at least 500 GB, right? So that's a lot of disks. You cannot give this many disks locally to a virtual machine or even to a physical server. So what you do is you get those disks over the network from this SAN or storage area network. We're going to talk about that. We're going to configure that storage area network, right? So this means that now you have long list of or long line of disks. So if I go for HP SAN storage and go here, so you would have, now these are showing lesser disks, but they are towers and they are long list of disks. These are pretty old ones, but I'm just giving you an example of a huge amount of disks in one machine that would just fulfill your requirements. And these would be just hundreds and hundreds of disks there. This is just showing 40, 50 disks, right? But it would show hundreds and hundreds of disks. So the thing is that if you need more disks, you can get more disks and attach it to the physical server, and all the virtual machines will get so much storage, unlimited storage, right? And networking, obviously, you would get 8 network cards you will put there, or 10 network cards you will put there, or 16 network cards, 16 NICs, network interface cards, right? 16 NICs, 20 NICs you can put there, right? So that would be network interface cards. And okay, so yeah, that would be network interface cards that are showing. I'm sure many of you have seen that already, but those network interface cards you would just put there in the servers. And so the thing is, the main idea is that you will get one physical server that is heavy and expensive in terms of hardware, very good performing hardware, but you will put on top of it a small software called hypervisor, and hypervisor will host virtual machines. So you can put, the more better physical hardware you have, the more virtual machines you can have. So suppose you have a hardware that has 1 terabyte RAM, 3.5 gigahertz, 32 core processors, 16 core, 32 core processors, right? And terabytes of disks and 16, 26 network cards maybe, right? So you can have 20 virtual machines there, or 30 virtual machines there, right? So each virtual machine has its own requirement. Oh, I need 32 GB RAM, right? And I need 64 GB RAM. This machine needs 64 GB RAM. Oh, this machine needs 128 GB RAM. This machine also needs 32 GB RAM. So obviously this much physical RAM, or more than this physical RAM, should be there in the physical server, right? Because each virtual machine will, there will be users connecting here, right? Suppose to this applications, there will be 2,000 users connected here to this machine, right? And there is 5,000 users connected here, 5,000 users, right? And this machine has 3,000 users connected. So each virtual machine will have thousands of users connected here. So you must have a very good performing hardware device underneath those virtual machines. But the thing is, hypervisor is just translating their request. So it says, oh, I need this much RAM right now. It's peak hours at 2 a.m. There are 2,000 users connected here. So that RAM will be provided. That request will go to hypervisor. and then hypervisor will request the hardware. Hey, hardware, I need from your 1 terabyte, I need 32 GB RAM. So, yep, here you go, 32 GB RAM here. Oh, I need 64 GB RAM. It will also request the same hypervisor. Hypervisor will go to the hardware. Hey, I need 64 GB RAM as well. I need 128 GB RAM as well. I need 32 GB RAM as well. So hypervisor is translating all the hardware requirements from the virtual machines to the physical server, and physical server is providing all that, right? So the thing is, as soon as the virtualization came, so many companies started saving millions and millions or billions of dollars. How did they save? They started throwing out physical servers because they need fewer physical servers and more virtual machines, right? This means they don't need to pay property rent now. They had rented one full floor. Now they have rented half or even less than half floor, right? And they don't have to pay the rent. So in rent, they reduce so much cost in personnel to support, in the security of that, in providing electricity to that. They save so much by virtualization. Millions and millions of dollars were saved by virtualization, right? So that was the case till the cloud arrived, right? So it became so cloudy after that, because then Azure arrived, and AWS actually was the first one who started this cloud concept. So AWS had so many data centers across the planet, and it was only doing retail, right? It was selling objects. It was selling all this retail things, right? And then they thought that, hey, we have so many data centers here, data centers in Asia, data centers in North America, data centers in South America, data centers in Africa, in Europe, and those data centers have thousands of physical servers, and we are unable to use those thousands of physical servers. Like 20% of the physical servers are being used for retail traffic. The rest of the physical servers are just sitting there doing nothing. So then they started renting their physical servers across different regions: Asia, Europe, and Southeast Asia, and Australia. So they started renting their physical servers there. So then this business started booming up. Microsoft also caught up to the game, and they started their own data centers. They started constructing their data centers, and then they started renting it. Now the company sees that, hey, our data centers are already shrinking, but we don't have to have virtual machines in our data centers. How about we put our virtual machines in somebody else's data center? Oh, what is that? Okay, AWS is saying that you can have suppose we have 3,000 virtual machines here, right? 3,000 VMs. So AWS said, hey, if you put your 3,000 VMs here, we will charge you like certain cents, 1, 3, 4 cents per hour, right? So the companies started calculating, hey, if we put it in our data center, that cost per hour is much, much more because of the security cost, because of the electricity cost, right? And because of hiring people cost. And it is much lesser if we host our virtual machines on somebody else's data center. And they're just charging us this much. And AWS, so they are state of the art. They have their data centers, huge data centers with good security and good update mechanism. So why don't we start renting AWS and Azure's data centers instead of keeping our own half floor and pay the rent for that, pay hydro charges, electricity charges for that, right? Instead of all that, why don't we just start renting? So then started the virtualization was the first boom, and then the cloud was the second boom, where companies started moving their assets, their applications to the cloud, right? So once they started moving, obviously other companies started also catching up with that. Wow, that now companies are saving even more, millions and millions more by going to the cloud. But majority of the big companies do not want to put all their critical virtual machines and data on the cloud, because clouds can also have outages. Clouds can also be hacked, right? Although they have very good state-of-the-art security, but there are chances. So if they put all their data, critical companies put all their data in the cloud, and there's an outage, right? North American regions, West Coast region, right? If they have outage, they are just disconnected with their data, right? So that's why big companies would keep their own data centers. And if they want to keep their data centers, they want to have a reliable virtualization solution. So there are more virtualization solutions as well. VMware offers virtualization. Broadcom actually offers virtualization solution. Microsoft Hyper-V. Microsoft also offers virtualization solution. It's Hyper-V, right? Citrix also offers a solution, Zen Server, right? Linux also offers a solution, KVM, right? It's KVM is also referred to something else as well, but it's a Linux virtualization solution is that too. So the top virtualization solution in data center is still VMware, and 80% of the data centers across the planet still have VMware, right? So Microsoft is, if a company wanted to go for, cutting the cost, so they went for Hyper-V, which also offers virtual machine hosting, which pretty much offers everything that VMware offers. But VMware is a pioneer in virtualization, right? So if the companies want to keep still their data center and keep their data to themselves as well in the cloud, right? Then they have to maintain their data center with the best virtualization solution, and that is VMware. So that's why right now VMware is still one of the top companies in demand. And if I go away from here and start making things again, so the thing is, uh, this is on premises, right? So suppose this is a Toronto branch. Or branch? No, branch. So the thing is, there is Azure cloud. Right now, what is the situation? That's what I'm saying here. Azure, AWS, right? AWS cloud, Google cloud. Google cloud is also really getting in and grabbing a market, right? So the game is about any big company, medium to large size companies that you will join, they will have hybrid environment, right? Which means that they prefer to have their data, critical data, in their own premises environment, as well as some of their critical data is in the cloud, either AWS, either Azure, either Google Cloud, but they also want to maintain on premises as well, which is, so on premises, they want to maintain their data. So you will find on premises a lot of companies. Some companies, some big companies, I'm still amazed, haven't even started thinking about cloud. And they are starting to think, I mean, many of the higher management is old school, which means, oh, in the cloud, will our data be secure? There are so many hacker attacks going on. So how would our data be secure in somebody else's data center? So there are so many old school still, but those who want to save money and they trust Azure, AWS security, they are putting their very important data in their data centers as well. But medium to large size companies, which means that from 10,000, 20,000 users up to 100,000, 200,000 employees companies, right? So they prefer to have on premises. Some of their very important data should still remain in their on premises data centers, as well as in AWS or Azure or Google Cloud's data centers as well, right? So that's why you will see this hybrid environment, which means that applications are here, virtual machines are here. They could migrate, they could move back and forth, migrate from on-premises to cloud and from cloud to on-premises. You can have one virtual machine here, which is active, and other virtual machine here, which is passive, right? And active virtual machine, all the users connect to the active virtual machines. Passive virtual machine is doing what? Anyone knows what is passive virtual machine doing? What does it do anyway? Just sits there, or does it do anything? Is it important?
I think it's
It
like a
does what?
duplicate virtual machine.
Redundancy, exactly.
Redundancy.
Duplicate, redundancy, yes. This means that whatever is going on here is being written, copied, synchronized, replicated to this machine as well, right? If in case this machine goes down, crashes, has some issue, all the services and connectivity of the users will, the word is failover. You must know all the disaster recovery technologies, terminologies, right? So it will fail over at once to the passive, and passive VM becomes the new active VM, right? So this means that suppose this whole branch has an outage, the network has some issue, and you got disconnected from the branch. Your machine's copies are also running on any one of the cloud solutions as well, and all the users could be redirected to the cloud machines as well. And that's the same for cloud. If there's a cloud level outage, regional outage, right, data center level outage, there were some data here. So suppose there's a lot of data here that the users were accessing, but there is cross region replication also available, which means that you can copy your data between Azure different regions, or between Azure and AWS, right, or between Azure and your on premises branch as well. So you have more options here for having your data highly available, having your virtual machines and assets highly available, right? So the thing is, on premises is not going soon. I mean, people are saying, "Oh, we are all moving to cloud, and on premises, on infrastructures are going to be gone." So that's not the case because of the security, because of so many ransomware attacks, because of so many hacking. Some networks had been hacked for 1 year. I mean, hackers were going inside cloud or non-cloud, right? So the thing is, companies for security reasons want to keep very important data on their on-premises data centers as well as cloud. So on-premises is not going anywhere. If on-premises are not going anywhere, then the best on-premises solution for virtualization is VMware, right? So that's why VMware is so much in demand. Some of my students, they did a lot cloud courses with me, Microsoft 365, all courses, and Azure and AWS. After that, they went for interview, and then they came back and said, "Sir, they were asking about VMware." And the job was saying cloud experts, and then they came, they, in the job description, always go and read that, because job description will also ask that you must know this is and cloud, right? So then I said, okay, I have a recorded course, go there and just go through all the labs and then give the interview again. So you must be always having skills of VMware plus cloud. So it's not like, oh, VMware, after that I get a job. No. With Azure, if I do, I get a job. No. With Azure and VMware and AWS and Microsoft 365 services, then I get a job. Yeah, now you have chances. So because everyone else is also doing the same thing. So you have to be a Superman to get a job, right? At least that's what you show in the resume, even if you're not, right? I was not, but it's the confidence and some of the questions that how you deal with the questions, and the technical questions, especially if you have done something, that Exchange server, the email server. So in Scotiabank, I was getting interviewed, and they asked that, okay, tell me the whole, if the Exchange server goes down, how do you recover it? So luckily, I had once recovered it in my previous company, and I knew the whole procedure, and somehow the whole procedure started, coming in front of me as a movie. And I started, first do this, and they were like, oh. Okay. So I got that job, right? Basically, the thing is, I did many of the things in my lab environment only as well. Those questions were also asked because I did it in my lab environment. I said, and they were like, oh, good. So you have to do things to be able to remember it for longer time instead of watching. Oh, I will remember. No way you're gonna remember unless you are, you have very good memory. Okay, petabytes of memory. The thing is, you have to do it. Okay. Anyway, so hands on, hands on, hands on. That's what I'm gonna preach all the time. Okay. Hey, it's like 7:40. So normally there's a break at the middle of the course. I mean class. So it's 7:40 till 8. Let's take a break and come back because now after that I need to introduce the VMware course. Then we need to go to the lab. We need to set up the lab and then prepare for the next class. Right. Okay. Let's. So let me put it here. Hmm, break and. We're going to learn inside there what are the topics, but before that I needed to confirm your access to the VMware lab itself, and there's kind of one more thing I wanted to mention here. So first of all, there's a lab, right? Let me just create a new slide here. So VMware lab. There is that Humber vCloud, and we can create virtual machines and student laptops. My suggestion is that, well, at the start of the course, you could, um, do give the service of anyone has acquired laptops from Humber here in the class? Yes, no, maybe, maybe not. Okay, Daniel has acquired. You got a laptop. So Humber does provide laptops as well, right? So get a laptop from Humber if you can, um, with minimum 16 GB RAM. Better if it is. I don't think they have that 32 GB, 24 GB RAM or 32 GB RAM laptop. Minimum i5 CPU, better i7, and disk, SSD disk, minimum. It should not be minimum 256 GB, better 500 GB, right? Disk space. So or get your own desktop or laptop. I've put that slide before as well, but it's going to benefit you in the long run. Desktop/laptop, right? But Humber vCloud, it also offers a lot of I mean hardware. So we can create all or majority of the labs there in vCloud, and that's what we're going to start with. Sometimes the vCloud has issues, then we have to switch to our laptops, desktops in that case. So I have to show you all the labs. I have to show you all the complicated configurations of disaster recovery technologies that VMware offers. So I have to carry on. Suppose there's a issue with Humber vCloud, and we are not able to get out of it. So we can't stop the show, right? As they say, the show must go on. Okay, so yeah, the show must go on, right? So I have to then switch to my mini PC that is i7 quad core, 32 GB RAM, and 1 terabyte SSD drive, right? So that is what I have as a backup. And if you can have a good, hardware based laptop desktop, that is good. It could it may be possible that we have to switch to our local machines. I have to show you, you have to understand everything. If you don't have the local machine, you can still follow and at least understand that. And whenever you have a local machine, you can just do all the labs, because I'm going to be recording all the labs and give it to you, the videos. Right, so it's just a suggestion that we're going to start with vCloud. If there are any issues, sometimes there are, sometimes there are not. So if there are, be ready to switch to your machines, and I'm gonna then show you how to create the whole environment in a local machine, which is gonna be good for you, because then you can recreate and practice all the disaster recovery features that you're going to explain in the interview. The more you do it yourself, the better. I'm gonna obviously give you the download link for all the software as well for VMware. In fact, at the end of the class or by tomorrow, I'll just put the links on WhatsApp as well as Blackboard and in the slide as well for download. So you can just download the software anyway in case we had to switch. O and K. So I'm going to go ahead and so that's one thing. Now let's try to confirm if let's have to confirm if you have access to Humber vCloud, right? So how do we get that access? So I'm just gonna go ahead and open that, and I'm gonna put the link. I think I have put that link way back in WhatsApp, and then I asked some of you, and some of you confirmed that you can log in. But this is the Humber VMware Cloud Director. I'm gonna just there are no multiple passwords here, right? You just use one password and one user to log into all the Humber services, right? Is that so? Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, guys. So you must have access to this. And now I'm going to get back to the explanation. We're going to be having 4 virtual machines here. And all virtual machines are playing some important role here. So I'm going to be going to explain that why 4, and oh, I need a hand. Literally, I need a hand. Yeah, okay. So there are 4 virtual machines here, and those are. Oh. Okay, so this virtual machine is going to be our Windows VM, and it will also have Azure, not Azure, obviously it's on premises, so Active Directory. Although VMware does not need Active Directory for authentication purposes, anyone knows what does Active Directory do in one liner? What's the main purpose of Active Directory?
Big register.
They could register. What else? It offers
manage users on account.
Yeah. It offers
Share-
AAA.
Shared
What is this?
resource.
Yeah, shared resource. So it offers AAA. What is AAA? Quick. Who knows?
Authorization, authentication, and
accounting.
account.
Yes, exactly. So authorization, authentication first. Actually, authentication is first. Authentication and accounting. So that would be this and this. And anyone knows the difference between authorization and authentication?
Yeah.
What's the difference? Yeah.
Authentication is just verifying your identity, while authorization is what you have access when you've been, you know, authenticated, if you have access to.
And authorization is?
Okay. Authentication is verifying your identity, and while authorization is having access to resources.
Okay. So
Yeah, authorization for, we can say, for user privilege.
exactly. So authentication is who are you? So you need to be authenticated. Are you employee of this company or not? And authorization is what access permission you have. So once you are authenticated, yes, this is our guy, this is our employee, and then you log in. But then after that, hey, what things you have access to and what resources you don't have access to, right? And then accounting, what are you doing, when, how long? So it's just some log files are kept there with a timestamp and how long were you logged in, and there are some log files related stuff, but overall meaning is this, right? Always remember that. Okay, so we're going to be installing Active Directory, but I'm saying here that we do not, VMware do not need Active Directory to offer authentication, authorization, accounting, because we're going to be installing the second machine, the VMware central management application called vCenter, right? And this vCenter has its own AAA mechanism as well. You can create a user here, you can authenticate that user, you can give access to that user, you can do accounting for that user as well. So VMware vCenter, so VMware's software called vCenter. And well, since I mentioned the word vCenter, so let me just quickly put that as well, that vCenter provides central management, security, uh, and disaster recovery, inventory. So everything is central, right? It manages all the resources, inventory of all VMs, storage like disks, right? Networking, VM storage, networking, etc. Right? So vCenter, this is for large environment. Suppose you have very small environment with two hypervisors only, two physical machines with hypervisors installed. You don't really need a vCenter for that. But if you have a lots of hypervisors, very big environment, then you need vCenter, right? But it is a central management software if you have huge environment. So VMware vCenter, for its own AAA purposes, it does not need Active Directory. Then why are we installing Active Directory? Because many of the environment that you will go to will already have Microsoft Active Directory installed and VMware vCenter installed. So in that case, um, you need to know how to integrate Active Directory, which is a Microsoft product, and VMware, which is now a Broadcom product. So they are different company products. How do they integrate with each other, right? So for that sole purpose, we're going to be putting the VMware Active Directory here, right? And the other thing is that we will also put here DNS, and we will also put here DHCP. We'll also put here virtual SAN, not SAM. Oh, this time I just typed Uncle Sam. So it's SAN, right? Really? Okay, drag it. Oh, it drags the whole screen. Okay. Yeah. So it provides DNS, DHCP, and virtual SAN. We're going to be installing all those roles here. Anyone, one-liner, if it is asked to you, what is DNS? How would you reply in one-liner? What is DNS?
IP address and the name of the domain.
IP address and name of the domain. What?
It's a protocol.
Mapping.
Yeah, it's translation between IP and
Yeah,
host and vice versa.
Okay.
Name
So
resolution.
exactly, name resolution. So DNS offers name resolution just for your interview content, right? It resolves host names or computer names to IP addresses, and IP addresses to host names, computer names, right? So just say that if they ask DNS, just right away, right? So just memorize it and prepare your interview well. DHCP, easy, right? One-liner, quick. What is DHCP?
Automatic assignment of IP.
Yes, automatic assignment of IP addresses. Virtual SAN. Okay, SAN. Anyone knows Uncle SAN? No, SAN.
I think it's a storage area network.
Yeah, storage area network. It offers what? Specialty of it. What does it do? Benefit.
Storage.
Redundancy also.
Yeah, so offers storage over the network with disaster recovery and high availability features for the storage, right? SAN offers disk or storage over the network, right? So when we're creating that, we will create that and configure it as well. So first machine is very important because it's offering us Active Directory. No, we don't really need AAA for that purpose, but we're installing Active Directory just to show how to integrate with VMware, because you will find that environment in pretty much every company. And DNS, DHCP are infrastructure roles. We really need those, and because we need to access excuse me, VMware machines by name. We need to access VMware machines by name, right? By name. So if I go here, now these first machine will be Windows, but other machines will be VMware hypervisor called ESXi. VMware ESXi, okay, let me write the whole thing, hypervisor. We're going to be installing, so this is Linux based software that gets installed in an empty physical server, and its sole purpose is to host virtual machines, right? And to let you use the full capacity of the hardware, right? And it fools the operating system into thinking that it's running on a hardware while it is actually running on a virtual hardware, which is in turn running on physical hardware, right? So the thing is that one Windows machine and 3 VMware hypervisors we're going to install. Second hypervisor, second machine is a VMware hypervisor. It's very, very important because we need to learn all the features of the vCenter. You know, this course, the whole course revolves around the features of vCenter itself, right? And you need to know, you must know what are the advanced features of vCenter, disaster recovery features of vCenter, high availability features of vCenter, right? Business continuity features. So you need to know all the features, but before that, you need to create the whole environment from scratch. So that's what we're going to do, right? And why there are two machines with just the hypervisor installed? Why? Because these two machines are going to be for all the labs. We need to do for labs. We need to have two machines. For example, we will try a feature called fault tolerance, or FT, fault tolerance means that there is one virtual machine here and there's another virtual machine here. And as I mentioned before as well, this is active machine, this is passive or standby machine. If active machine goes down, this passive machine becomes the new active machine. So obviously we need minimum two hypervisors for that. We cannot experiment that in one hypervisor. So that's why we will be installing. Oh, Control Z doesn't work here. Seriously. Okay. Oh, there's a rubber here, I guess. You see a rubber here? Oh, I saw that. Yeah. O and K. Oh, so much fun. Man, it cleans so much. Right? Okay. Anyway, so the thing is that we need minimum 2 hypervisors to do all the labs. There is one more lab here, and that is that we're going to do a crash test on. So we're going to create a virtual machine here, and exactly that. I mean, like an active machine and a passive machine. In VMware, it is called primary and secondary. Then we're going to crash the physical server, which has the active machine. We're going to check that if passive machine automatically becomes the active machine. So obviously, again, we need 2 hypervisors for that. So that's why we will be requiring that. Okay. So we now understand that why we need 4 virtual machines here and what kind of roles these virtual machines will be creating, right? Now we need to also check out. So I'm just gonna, okay. I'm gonna just copy this diagram. Okay, so in the chat, I'm copying that diagram in the WhatsApp chat, in the Teams chat, right? And also in the slide that I'm gonna upload at the end of this class. Okay, so the way we're gonna do the class labs is that I'm going to be doing the lab, you're going to be following me, right? So if I click, you click. If I no click, you no click. You know, it's the basicest English ever. Okay, I'm speaking wrong English here, but the thing is that there's a rule here. If I no click, you no click, right? So the thing is, it cannot be simpler than that. The problem is that if I am configuring, suppose Windows, and there are many Windows gurus here, experts here, right? So they might assume that, oh, he's installing Windows and he's going to configure this way. Okay, let me configure all this together for him. So I customize a lot, and I tell you the reason why always I customize. So whatever customization I'm doing, I'm going to give a reason. So if you're ahead of me and you've customized some other way, you will have to repeat the whole lab again after watching the video when the video is released, right? So be with me. If I click, only then click. If I don't go ahead of me, don't assume anything. Assume is the biggest. Assuming is the it's going to really take you down in your job as well if you assume anything. IT people always see from the eyeballs. You have to see and confirm, and then you go ahead. Never ever ever assume anything, right? Whenever I assumed way back when I newly joined, so I always had a big disadvantage. Always check with your eyes what's there, right? You're the administrator now. You're going to administrate millions of dollars of worth of licensed applications, licensed applications. Okay, so you have to. I'm going to be stopping at certain screenshots, at certain configurations, and then I'm going to take a screenshot, right? So I'll be asking you, those who are following, that please take a screenshot now. So you have to take a screenshot of that configuration and save it at the end of the class. Open a MS Word file, put all the screenshots there, name the Word file as your name and Humber ID, and upload it to a link that I will give you in Blackboard. At the end of the class, I'm going to tell you that again, right? That's how it's going to be, that you're going to do the lab with me. You're going to take screenshots where I ask you to take a screenshot. I'm going to go for specific areas only, that, okay, if you are with me here, take a screenshot now. And your name should be showing, your machine name will be showing there, must be showing there to qualify as a screenshot to be marked ONK. So that said, let's go ahead and try to check what we are going to be, what we're going to be learning here. So first of all, we're going to be learning here, describe the software-defined data center. So data center, I've talked about data center before as well, and I've shown you the screenshot of the data center. This is the whole data center, but this is not software-defined. This is actually, all the, okay. This is all metal, right? This is all, oh, again, I clicked a YouTube video. Seriously, I need to click a short. See, this is all metal, right? Tuck, tuck, tuck. So the thing is, this whole thing is software defined, which means there's virtual machine, there's virtual disk, there is virtual network card, there is virtual CPU, virtual RAM, everything is virtual, right? So that is software defined. With software, with code, you have created everything that used to be and is still a hardware, but its software version has also been created. So what is software defined data center? We're going to talk about that. ESXi host and create virtual machines. We're going to be doing that. What is ESXi host? So what is ESXi, and then what is host, right? So we're going to learn that, but what is it? So let's get back to our drawing board. Okay, so here, if we and yeah, so whenever I ask whiteboard, this is a whiteboard area, right? Give me a hand. So I just click that hand. Literally, I get a hand. Okay, so here the thing is that hypervisor software, right? So hypervisor, VMware, Broadcom VMware's. So Broadcom is a company name, right? Broadcom's hypervisor equals ESXi, right? So ESXi, right? And so let me just, because when we compare, then we understand, right? Microsoft's hypervisor is Hyper-V, right? I've mentioned that before as well. And Citrix's hypervisor equals Zen server, right? And yeah, Linux is KVM. So every companies have made released their hypervisor software, right? So we're going to be working on ESXi hypervisor, right? This is VMware's hypervisor. And there are then two types of hypervisor. Oh, two types of hypervisor as well. What is that? So if we go back to the diagram, there are two, suppose there are two physical servers here, right? Delete, you know what? Instead of making boxes here, hey, how do I delete that? Yeah. Okay. So if I go back to this and put here physical server HP or any other, and go for images, and then go for good one. Okay, and copy. And since I'm collecting images, so I will collect that. Okay, so here in whiteboard, I'm gonna put two servers here, right? And then Control C, Control V. Okay, there are two servers here. Now, so these are two servers. One server has operating system on it, right? And the other server is empty. You just purchased two servers, physical servers, right? They are both $2,000 or $3,000 worth, right? And first server you install an operating system, other one you keep empty, right? Now, what happens is that then you install on top of it what? An application, as we discussed before as well. Okay, hey, it controls these. So install an operating system. Then on top of that, you can install, can't draw a straight line. So you can install hypervisor, right? Hypervisor. On top of that, you can install VM1, right? And VM2, and you go on, right? VM3. Okay, there is this type of hypervisor, then there's another type of hypervisor as well. And what is that? So you get a blank bare metal machine, empty machine, you just purchased it and you assembled it, and then you install directly through a USB, bootable USB, you install a hypervisor on top of this. And on top of that, you install VM1, VM2, VM3, right? And VM3, right? So there's a difference here, obviously. So this is, what is this called? Hypervisor 2, and this is called hypervisor 1. Oh, okay. So what's the difference? Why hypervisor 2? Why are there two types of hypervisors here? And what's the difference between the two? So you can see that operating system, Windows or Linux, or Windows, suppose. So it, for its own running, it eats up a lot of RAM, lot of CPU, lot of hard disk space, right? While for its own running, hypervisor, so that's I can say lot of CPU RAM and very less. For its own running, hypervisor uses very less RAM, CPU, and hard disk, right? And networking as well. So if this uses physical RAM more, physical CPU more, physical HDD more, and on top of that, you've installed hypervisor, its sole purpose is to host virtual machines. On top of that, you've installed virtual machines. Okay, so virtual machine, this virtual machine needs, 20% of processor, CPU, and 32 GB RAM, right? And this needs 64 RAM and 30% of processor, CPU, and this needs suppose also 128 GB RAM, right? And 30% of CPU. Or so now this request goes to the hypervisor. Hypervisor requests that to the OS, and OS requests that to the hardware. Hey, hardware, this PC, this virtual machine needs 32 GB RAM and this much processor. This one needs this much RAM, this much processor. This one needs this much RAM, this much processor. So operating system in between is also using up a lot of CPU, RAM, and HDD of its own for its own working. So it's gonna make these virtual machines slow. These virtual machines will not get good CPU and RAM, so hence they will not perform good, right? So hypervisor 2 are used for test environments because they're slow, test or training environments, right? Hypervisor 1, there is no operating system here. Directly a small hypervisor or small software called hypervisor installed, which for its own running does not use or uses very less RAM, CPU, and HDD, right? So whatever CPU and RAM is required by the virtual machine, it just simply directly asks the hardware. Hardware provides exactly that much CPU and RAM. So this hypervisor 1 is used in real environment, professional, production environments, however you want to say that. So it's used for professional environments, right? So hypervisor 1 is used professionally in all the data centers. Hypervisor 2 is used for test and training environments only, because this one, well, if you're an operating system, the ease of use is that you have an operating system, Windows 10, Windows 11, Windows 2012, it's just available, you can just install on it, right? Hypervisor. While here, once you install hypervisor directly on the hardware, you can only host virtual machines here, right? That's the only purpose of hypervisor. So when you see in the companies, you will see hypervisor 1. When you see in test environments, you will see hypervisor 2. That said, so hypervisor 2, VMware offers hypervisor 2. The name of the software is VMware. Oh man, I have to workstation. Workstation. So hypervisor 2 from VMware is workstation, and hypervisor 1 from VMware is ESXi. ESXi is used in professional environment, big environments. VMware workstation is used for training environments, test environments, right? Because it's not about performance, it's about just testing anything, right? It goes down, who cares? But ESXi, this is for professional environment. Business relies on those virtual machines. The applications that are installed on those virtual machines, it heavily relies on that. If the virtual machine is down, the business starts losing thousands of dollars. So it needs to have a hypervisor that really works for, that is made for professional environments. So ESXi is made for professional real environments. Hypervisor 2 from VMware is also called Hyper-V, and it's hypervisor 1 from VMware is also called Hyper-V. They just call it. So you on top of an operating system, you can install Hyper-V. So it's hypervisor 2 for test and training. Directly on top of a hardware, also you can install a Hyper-V, and that would be hypervisor 1, right? So you must know the difference between hypervisor 1 and hypervisor 2. We're going to be testing, obviously, hypervisor 1. Obviously, we need to test that, right? In production environments, in real environments, you will have hypervisor 1 there. So we need to know inside out of hypervisor 1. If we had to switch to our laptops and desktops, because if there is a problem with Humber vCloud, then I'm going to give you VMware Workstation as well. So we're going to create this hypervisor 2 environment, because on your Windows 10 or 11 machines, you will install VMware Workstation. Inside VMware Workstation, we're going to create 4 virtual machines then, right? We can do that too. So that is the explanation of hypervisor 1 and hypervisor 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Man, I forget. Okay, I'm trying to learn, Spanish numbers. Where? Okay. So that's the diagram here for in your WhatsApp and in your Teams app, and in the slide that I'm going to upload at the end of the course, this class, ONK. So what we were talking about is we're going to be installing, deploy an ESXi host. So in production, in real environment, we call these physical servers with hypervisor installed on them, we call them host. Hey, did you check the host number 31? So that's physical server with hypervisor ESXi installed. It is called host, right? So ESXi host, we're going to deploy ESXi host and create virtual machines on top of that. Yeah. Describe vCenter server architecture, a Windows-based, appliance-based. That's gone. That's a goner. Hey, where's the strike here? Strike font. Anyway, so yeah, this is gone. Windows-based hypervisor is no longer. Used to be there. So it's appliance-based or Linux-based hypervisor. But what is that? We're going to talk about that. So what is vCenter? We know that already, right? So vCenter is the central, vCenter provides central management, security, disaster recovery, inventory. So you want to centrally manage hundreds of hypervisors. Then you install vCenter. It's expensive and big companies can afford that, right? So we're going to install vCenter as well. We're going to explore, we're going to try to explore all the features of vCenter. And appliance-based vCenter just means that um, this vCenter we're going to deploy from over the network here, and it's going to install as a virtual machine with an OS already deployed and vCenter already inside, already available. So we're going to be deploying remotely a virtual machine that will have vCenter and OS already installed in it, right? So that's why it's going to take 45 minutes as well in our environment. So a virtual machine with OS and application already pre-installed, and you just need to configure it, customize it, right? If it is already installed, it is called appliance. Okay, appliance. So it is called appliance. If it's a virtual machine with pre-installed OS and application. So we're going to be installing appliance-based vCenter, right? Okay, deploy vCenter server instance or VMware vCenter server appliance. Like we're going to be installing this, and this is old story, vCenter server. Use vCenter server to manage an E6i host. Yeah, so that's a thing. What we're going to do is we're going to connect from Google Chrome to the vCenter. From the vCenter, we're going to see, oh, that's many hypervisors we have. Oh, this many virtual machines we have. Oh, this many virtual standard switches we have, distributed switches we have, and storage we have, SAN we have. So vCenter will give us the whole inventory and we can remotely manage it. We can delete it. We can create more of it, right? So we're going to connect from Google Chrome in Windows to the vCenter, and we're going to manage the whole environment from the vCenter. So vCenter will be connected to this hypervisor, and we're going to manage everything remotely from vCenter, right? O-N-K. So that's this. We're going to learn. Configure and manage vSphere infrastructure with vMware vSphere client and VMware vSphere. Seriously, there's so many vSphere web client. So we're going to be using this guy here, web client. What is web client? If you are in a browser in Google Chrome, if you're able to connect from Google Chrome to the hypervisor or vCenter, right? So this is called web client. I mean, if you're able to connect from the Chrome to the hypervisors, then they're called web client. So yeah, we're going to use web client automatically. So that goes without saying. Configure virtual networks with vSphere standard switches. So every virtual machine comes with a standard switch here. So as soon as you install a hypervisor, there's that standard switch that is connected here, right? And virtual switch, that is virtual standard switch. What does switch do? Switch offers networking to virtual machines, right? So a switch will connect two virtual machines or 3 or 4 virtual machines together, and they can connect to each other and to the internet. The switch in turn connects to the physical network card installed in a physical machine. So this standard switch connects to a physical network card. Physical network card connects to a physical switch like Cisco, Juniper, and physical switch connects to a router, right? And router connects to a firewall, and it goes out to the ISP, right? ISP. So and ISP takes you to the internet, right? So the thing is that virtual standard switch, so virtual machines, if they want to receive data or send data, so they go to the standard switch connects with a network card, virtual, this is physical network card. And virtual machines have their own virtual network card as well, right? So through virtual network card to the standard switch, to the physical network card, to the physical switch, and this standard switch is virtual switch, right? This is just a software, virtual switch. So that's how so we're gonna spend half of the class learning inside out of a standard, right? And then we have here, we manage various types of host storage. So VMware vSphere VMFS. VMFS is VMware file system, right? VMware file system. FS is file system, just like NTFS. Anyone knows what is NTFS? I think Windows gurus know that. NTFS, ever heard of that? What is that? It's MS Office product, right? Or so it's a new technology file system, NTFS, right? So it's Windows is formatted with NTFS file system. So this is VMware file system, right? NFS network file system. This is for Linux, virtual SAN, storage area network. So that's where you can store data. So it's all storage and virtual volumes. These are created on top of the SAN itself. We're going to talk about that. When you have virtual machines, so you will have virtual disks here, right? Those virtual disks have to be formatted with something VMware. So they will be formatted with VMFS, VMware file system. These disks will, so this is a Windows machine, right? It will have also a virtual disk. This will be formatted with NTFS, Windows file system. But these are VMware machines, so they will be formatted with VMware file system. O and K. Manage virtual machines, templates, clones, and snapshots. So you're going to be doing that every day, nearly in a big environment. That you're going to be asked to create virtual machines. You're going to be asked to create templates or images of a virtual machine, and then clone from the template. So we're going to do all that and take snapshots of the virtual machine, so you could recover from that. Then create a VApp. So you're going to be creating. So VApp is just grouping of virtual machines to start, restart, shut down virtual machines together. So you want to maintain 10 virtual machines together. You are updating all the virtual machines. Now you want them all shut down together or restart together. So you can just group them together into a thing called VApp. Describe and use the content library. Content library is just like a file server. We're going to create that pretty easy. You can save here ISO images like Windows image, Linux image, or VApps or templates of a virtual machine. You can save here as a file server. You can access from there over the network anytime. Oh, I need Windows OS. Oh, I need Linux OS. So content library has that. Migrate virtual machines. The most fun part here, when you will have adrenaline drill. So you will have that push, and you will be like, whoa, I've achieved something. Woo. Is migrate virtual machines. We will be migrating virtual machines from one hypervisor to another and back. And we're going to learn how many types of migrations are there. The good thing about that is, or the amazing thing about this is why way back VMware sold so much, that you have a virtual machine with 2,000 users, suppose, connected here. All of a sudden, the underlying physical server is slow, right? Very, very slow all of a sudden. So all the users in the virtual machine are saying, hey, this machine is slow. We cannot do anything. We're opening a file and it's opening forever. So you have vMotion or migration configured, right? So what you can do is you can migrate a live running virtual machine from one hypervisor to another with users connected and working on it. You can live migrate the whole thing, right? So it used to be asked as a question, and even now it will be asked that, hey, how do you vMotion a virtual machine? So we're going to configure the whole thing from scratch, and then you can remember that for the interview as well. So migration, we're going to configure storage vmotion. Storage vmotion is you migrate the data from inside a virtual machine, you migrate the data or storage from one, storage data store to another.
Excuse me, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
For the vMotion, I think it's coming with some advanced plan, not the basic plan. It's a feature that you have to pay the third plan, I think.
Future. Like VMware and its environments are as is being moved, migrated to AWS and Azure, and not being converted to AWS instances or Azure virtual machines. So whatever technology they have right now is actually acceptable by the companies. And obviously its future is, I mean, not future, but automation would be the main thing here. With cloud, I mean, companies are saying that, hey, we still need VMware, even if it doesn't have its own cloud. We still want it to be on the cloud as VMware. So that's why, I mean, if you learn what we are going to be learning here, this is what you're going to be migrating as is on top of the cloud without converting them into Azure VMs. And once you convert them Azure VMs, then we will forget what is VMware. Who cares then, right? So the thing is that this same technology is is still there in the market for a long time. We need to really understand inside out of all the advanced features of this technology. Future is still, yeah, we should know automation. Future is that there's containers. It's not future, it's happening now, that containerization has arrived in VMware, and it has to easily migrate from your on-premise environment to cloud. So that is very, very critical. Once you learn the whole environment, you must at least once migrate a VMware virtual machine from your machine to AWS or Azure cloud, and migrate back. So that would be very important to learn for current environments, because they are migrating back and forth with VM virtual machining intact, with application intact, and everything is okay. Or you need to learn the failover mechanism from on-premises to cloud. How do you failover, right? So that would be all very important. Also, you need to know how to convert a VMware virtual machine to an Azure virtual machine, and how to convert a VMware virtual machine to an AWS instance. That you still need to know, but also how to keep VMware virtual machine as a VMware virtual machine intact on the cloud and migrate back and forth. So these are some of the things that you need to know for today's network. But those who haven't gone through all the basics and some advanced features, they have to go through that, and then yes, you come to this as well, right? But yeah, they don't have their own cloud. That's a limitation. But still, since companies want on-premises, their own branches, so VMware is there to stay for foreseeable future. So yeah, so latest things you can also see in latest, if you just Google it, latest news for VMware, latest changes in VMware. It's all about migration and back and forth. That is not just one move. You want to bring back the virtual machine, and failover and migration, both in disaster recovery scenarios, that you need to really know, plus automation with Power CLI. Okay. So use storage, and then we're going to talk about also resource pools. We realize high availability, fault tolerance. Resource pools is that you can reserve hardware, you can reserve RAM, you can reserve CPU for important virtual machines, right? So if there's a virtual machine here, and that's very important, so you can give that like 20% of CPU and RAM must be given all the time, reserved for this particular VM. Suppose it has very important application, and without that application, the company cannot survive. So that's why you want to reserve. So if you want to reserve hardware for important virtual machines, you can do that from resource pools. And vRealize is just a monitoring software, monitoring and automation software. Its license is very expensive, but it offers very good monitoring of not only VMware environments, but also Linux and Windows and cloud, AWS, Azure monitoring as well as automation of many of the day-to-day tasks you can do from this VMware vRealize. High availability is that if you have a virtual machine here and you have configured high availability, so if this physical server goes down, crashes, so this virtual machine is restarted on the other surviving hypervisor. So that is high availability. If this server goes down, this machine is restarted quickly on the other hypervisor to save a lot of time of downtime, and it just starts on the other hypervisor. Fault tolerance is failover, and we talked about that so many times that there's a virtual machine here and its partner machine is here. If this machine goes down, it simply fails over its services to this virtual machine, right? So this is fault tolerance. So we're going to be doing lab on every one of those things, except for some. Replication is that you have one branch here, and that is Toronto branch, and you have another branch here that is New York branch, and you have virtual machines here across the WAN link, right? Wide area network over the internet. So you want to do replication, so you will install the VMware replication software here, and you will install the VMware replication software here, and then in increments you will send the updates, deltas there, right? Distributed data protection is backup. If you want to do backup of virtual machines, backup and restore, so that is vSphere data protection. Distributed resource scheduler, this is pretty smart service. DRS does such a good thing that you can do some other work and leave the environment to DRS. DRS does what? It calculates every 5 minutes which physical hypervisor or whichever hypervisor or host is slow and which is fast. Suppose this is fast, it has more CPU and RAM available. Suppose this is slow, it has less CPU and RAM available. So DRS simply calculates that if there are 10 virtual machines, if I move 5 virtual machines away from here to the fast one, so those virtual machines will also be having good performance, while the remaining virtual machine will also gain some good performance. So it keeps on automatically migrate virtual machines from slow performing hypervisors to fast performing hypervisors, right? It keeps on automatically migrate. So that's amazing. Like you can just leave it on DRS. You can configure that hey, DRS from now on, you're going to migrate, you're going to check if the machine is slow, move it to virtual machine is slow, move it to a fast performing hypervisor. It's all on you now. So this means users get always good, fast performance, right? So yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's done in the vCenter?
It's in the vCenter, exactly, enterprise version. Yeah. So DRS, and we're going to be doing the lab on that. We're going to check all the features inside. And then there's distributed switch. So this is grandpa of the standard switch. Standard switch comes with every hypervisor. Once you install a hypervisor, so standard switch gets installed automatically. But suppose you have 200 we have only 3 hypervisors, right? Suppose you have 200 hypervisors, right? And you want to change the networking, and on those 200 hypervisors, maybe you have 3,000 virtual machines on top of them, 200 physical servers hypervisors. On top of them, overall 3000 virtual machines, right? So you want to change the networking of 3000 virtual machines in one go, right? So then you need a distributed vSwitch, right? Distributed virtual switch. Distributed virtual switch is living, it lives inside the vCenter, and there, from there you can control all the networking policies for all the virtual machines. So suppose there are 10 virtual machines here and 10 here, 10 on each hypervisor. So, and the boss says, hey, change its networking. So there are two standard switches here, two standard switches here. So change this this machine was connected here. Change all 10 virtual machines from this standard switch to this standard switch, right? So you first you connect here and change all the switches. Then you change connect here and change the all virtual machine switches. Then you connect here. Then you connect here. Instead, you can do that once in one wizard only through distributed standard switch. So basically, you can deploy over the network networking policies on all thousands of virtual machines through distributed switch. So we're going to do a lab on that. Update manager, yeah, that's just to update the hypervisor. It's already built into the hypervisors itself. So we're gonna be doing that. Okay, you're gonna have, so those are the topics and many more we will be talking about. But this is how your exams will be. Your lab will have 50 marks, and your final term and midterm will have 25 marks, and it will be all true and false, tricky questions, tricky traps. So whatever we cover till then will be coming in the exam, right? O and K. So we have discussed that what we're going to be talking about, and then we have also talked about that you should have good hardware. Well, that's my number and my email and my Gmail as well. You have my number because you're on WhatsApp, so you have my number. So this is my Humber email, say .shahzad@humber.ca, and itguyme@gmail.com is my Gmail if you want to contact this way. Other than that, Brightspace DL, I mean, okay, so that was the Humber Academy. Okay, guys, now let's just go to our lab, and hopefully everyone has access to this. I think we talked about it already. I'm going to refresh that. So you should be on this page, and then you should click like Aziz, right? Hopefully everyone is there. So yeah, there's one more thing I wanted to say about the lab. So guys, not everyone is, technically tech savvy, or maybe students have been in other fields and then they're coming back, or they just joined this field of IT. They don't have hands-on experience that much. And some of you are like, click, 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 and you're done. Some of you are very tech savvy, right? So I'm going to do labs very slow, right? But still, some of you might be stuck, right? I can help you for a few minutes, but I cannot help for half an hour because we just have 4 hours, right? So in case you're stuck and it's a long problem, then just let me finish the lab. It is being recorded already. So you will get it the next day or that night on the Blackboard. You still have 1 week to follow the whole lab and finish it, right? In video, you cannot miss any step. So let me carry on. So you're following the lab with me. If you're stuck with something, you can share the screenshot quickly in WhatsApp, or share the screenshot in team chat, or come on the mic, sir, I'm stuck here. But if that stuckness, okay, that's not a word in English. If that stuckness goes beyond few minutes, then I cannot help, because I need to show you the full lab. Suppose I help all others and it's like 1 hour, 2 hour taken. So obviously the rest of the topic I'll have to convert into theory because I don't have time to really give you the lab. But I want to give you labs for all the big topics, right? The more hands-on we are, the better. So let me finish the lab and you can follow me. on the video by just watching the video as well, right? O-N-K. So yeah, guys, as we have created the diagram here, so we have 4 machines and we need to create first machine, second, third, fourth machine. So let's start the first machine. Normally on day 1, I introduce in a career talk and everything course, then we start the lab on the second week. But this is the second week. This is the makeup class for the second week. So how about we start with first machine at least with the time left. So let's go here. And if everyone's here, is everyone here? Yes. Okay, thank you for your reply. Let's go ahead. Yeah, okay, good. Okay. Okay, so here, virtual machines, if anyone is not here, let me know, but we are all here to help. But you can also follow the video, which I will post by tomorrow. Sometimes I forget, so just put in the WhatsApp, hey, teach, where's the video, right? So just let that. Okay, so here, if you see the new VM, let's click that. I could ask for any place where, hey, stop, take screenshot. So you have to take screenshot of that area, right? Okay, new VM. You're gonna create a new VM, right? So on the top, there's name. You will be putting your name. You will not be putting my name, right? If you put my name, 0 marks. Okay. So you will be putting your first name, my name, Amir, right? So I'm gonna put my name. You're gonna be putting your first name, or if your first name is very long, then half of your first name. If half is also long, then half of your first name, right? So your first name VM01, because in the screenshot your name should be showing, right? So okay, and this is I'm gonna go for new, right? So your first name VM01 new, and yeah, it's gonna power on at the start. OS family, you can. So first machine is Windows. So Windows. Operating system is okay. Yeah, let's go for. Hey, what am I doing? Boot image. I only have. Let me just check the boot image. I have 2019 here. So okay, Windows, yeah, and operating system is 2019 64-bit. I think if we go up, there's 29. This one, right? Everyone see that? 64-bit 2019. Okay. Okay. Once this is done, guys, now you have to be careful. Boot image, select. But if you go down here, there is one Windows 2019 with ISO, one 2019 with zip. We will go with ISO. Do not click the zip one, click the ISO one, right? Okay, ISO. Okay, and then there's predefined sizing options. So we're gonna go for custom sizing options. Custom sizing options. Virtual CPU 2 is okay. Cores per socket 1 is okay. Number of sockets 2 is okay. Memory we're gonna give. Okay, temporarily we're gonna give 16 GB. Yeah, it's gonna go faster. Okay, yeah, 16 GB RAM. And then storage is VM default. So storage we can give 200. This we can give as 180 as well, 150 as well, 160. So out of habit, I'm giving 200 because we have that kind of space. And also that it is thin provisioned. Thin provision does not occupy a lot of space on physical disk. Okay, so 200 GB here. And if we go further down, we need to choose the network. So there is MSI 201 Internet 1 and Internet 2. So we go for Internet 1, right? And then We're gonna go for VMX Net 3, which is the network adapter that also supports legacy remote connectivities as well. All other adapters, they are throughput, adapters. You have a huge amount of data, you can use that, and the regular adapter is this. But this one is kind of more supporting to our lab, VMX Net 3. DHCP is okay, AutoSign is okay. So I'm gonna go up carefully. This is your first name virtual machine, not my first name, your first name. New, Windows 2019 ISO, cross check that, double check that. And custom sizing, 2 vCPUs is okay. And 16 GB RAM is okay. And 200 GB disk is okay. And internet is Internet 1, MSI 201 Internet 1, and VMX Net 3. I hope that is what you have done as well. Remember, I no click, you no click, right? So I click, okay. Okay, I can see everyone's machine here. Oh yeah, now everyone. So guys, there's gonna be a very bad experience. It's gonna start now. Okay, first of all, we need to install Windows, right? And majority of you know how to install Windows, right? But the bad experience which we always face, and I'm going to help you with, and some of the tech savvy among you or Windows gurus among you might also figure out, but I'm going to show. It's gonna lose mouse. Have you installed Windows without mouse before? Anyone? No one, right? So it's gonna be painful. When I say painful, so so yeah, I don't know what is wrong with this vCloud and Windows, but it's gonna lose a mouse. And without mouse, I'm gonna tell you, with tab and spacebar and up arrow and down arrow. And yeah, those who cannot do that, I'm gonna connect to your machine and I'm gonna quickly do that for you as well, one by one. And we can continue if it's too much time taking and it's 10 o'clock, then we're going to continue next class as well, but we need to get the Windows installed. Many of the gurus here might figure out from what I'm doing. So just so first of all, there's a machine here, right? It's appearing, a machine is appearing here. So you have to go to, actually we can go to VM console, but I need to introduce you to this actions. So there is power off, there is shutdown guest, there is reset, suspend, copy to, move to, release, new lease, renew lease, and change owner share. So there's, if you go down, there are more features there. Insert media, eject media, install Vmware tools. These three we will need later. And then this is actions, this is details. We're going to be going here as well. If we go to details, I'm just introducing that. There is removable media, hard disk, you want to add more, compute, CPU, network interface card, you want to add more, and yeah, guest OS customization, we don't need that, guest properties, sharing, metadata, and all, right? But this is where you can shut down the machine and always change the hardware whenever you want. I'm going to go back here to the virtual machine. Where we need to go now is, I hope everyone is seeing this, VM console. So go ahead and click that. VM console. And you should see something like that. Z's. Anyone sees mouse there? If you go, so this is my mouse. If I go here, gone. Go up, it's there. Inside, gone. And yeah, so you lost the mouse, right? Anyone lost the mouse? Okay. So guys, tab, until you see the small blue highlight on the next, press enter. So again, tab button on the keyboard, top left, tab, tab, tab until you see next, press enter. Here press enter because it's just installed now. Don't tab here, right? This is the easy part. So the painful part is we need to install the whole Windows. We need to log in. We need to install VMware tools and restart. That's the main purpose. We need to reach there, right? If you move the mouse, then it will show. See this? We will have to press down arrow key on the keyboard and select Windows Server 2019 Standard Evaluation Desktop Experience, right? Wow, that's a long one, right? Okay, so second one or fourth one, but don't go for first one and third one. That only installs PowerShell based, command line based. So second one I selected and press enter. Move the mouse to see the next screen. Yeah. Space bar to I accept the license. Space bar, I accept the license. Then tab, it will highlight the next button. Press enter. Man, I'm amazed you guys are going so smoothly. What is right with you? You guys are cool. Or either you're not following, you're so quiet. By this time, previous batches, sir, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm coming to your speed. Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. In the operating system, which one we should select?
Which language?
Operating system.
Oh yeah, second one. Second line.
Second one, the desktop experience, right?
Exactly, yes.
Okay, thank you. I didn't follow up just now.
Okay, nice, very nice. Guys, anyone you want to ask question, go ahead and ask. It's okay. You can ask questions. So I'm gonna press enter. That's it, right? Accept the license terms is spacebar. You know, once a student asked what is spacebar, so I had to say long key at the bottom. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Stephen.
Okay. I just want to ask, how do you click on the accept the license terms?
Oh, spacebar. Oh,
Spacebar.
if it's not there, then press tab and spacebar. Otherwise, it's already there. Just press spacebar. Yep.
Okay.
And then press tab and enter.
Okay.
Sir, how can I select the second one after I type?
Did you select the second one? Down arrow?
No, I don't have the way to select the second one.
Oh, tab and then down arrow. Down arrow key on the keyboard. If you press the down arrow key. Otherwise, I can quickly select your. Okay, so guys, those who are ahead, you just have to go down to custom. Mingling, I'm going to be connecting to your machine now, and you will be seeing that. So, guys, rest who are there, down arrow, custom. We need to select custom and press enter.
The down arrow doesn't work.
Oh, then press tab once, and then press down arrow.
Tab once, right?
Yeah, tab only one time. Guys, here press enter as well. Those who are here. And I'm going to connect to those who are behind.
Works.
All right, good. So if you press enter, that's it. I mean, it's going to start the installation. The most painful experience starts when it reaches the login screen. Yeah, anyone still not here, let me know. Guys, there's a class password, and the class password is, I think I put it here. Oh, okay. So the class password is this, although you can put a different password yourself as well, but the class password is small ABC, capital ABC, shift123 without shift123, right? So that's the class password, which means that anywhere we put the password, we will put this password, unless if you have a difficult password screenshot. Yep.
So the mouse going to work after the installation, or are we
No,
going to use the
mouse
keyboard?
I will show in next class. We will start from here. Your machines should all be at the stage where, oh yeah, I need to show that. At this stage, your machines should be on this stage. And did everyone give a password already?
Yes.
Go ahead and give the password. I'm giving the class
Yes.
password, small ABC, capital ABC, shift 123 without shift 123. And small ABC, capital ABC, shift 123 without shift 123. So that's the class password I've already shared. That's it. Give the password, and that's all for today. In next episode, I'm going to show you how to log in without mouse in Windows and how to install VMware tools and restart. After that, we get the mouse. And after that, we will really, I mean,
I already logged in, sir.
You already logged
I
in?
already logged in. Yeah.
Yeah, but after that, like, I mean, there's no mouse, right? So you have to install VMware tools. So that's a long procedure to show, and our time is running out. So we will stop it today. And here, just give the password. This is where we stop, and you need to take a screenshot. Yeah, there's a hand raised.